name is Jack, and I'm one of the ELD teachers in McMinnville, and I have the opportunity to share with you what's new for 21-22. Before I get to what's new, however, as a district that has worked with EL Achieve for many years, I want to provide some data that supports our continued partnership. Our graduation rate in McMinnville in general has been higher than the state average for a number of years. Our former ELs, students who have exited the program, have tended to outpace other groups. The majority of these former ELs began in kindergarten, and over 70% exit before entering high school. Recently, the Oregon Department of Education announced graduation data for the class of 2020-21. This graphic shows the percentages of just a few of the subgroups. Although others are equally impressive, the green highlights show areas where the percentage increased over the previous year. The far right column shows the percentage we rated above the state average. It's worth noting that many of our ELs and former ELs have disabilities. That group improved 5% from the previous year. Also notable is that above 75% of our Hispanic students are current or former English learners. Of course, nearly all of our migrant students qualify as ELs at some point. We are particularly proud of how our former ELs did compared with students who were never ELs. For students who have never been in our English Learners program, the graduation rate is 92.6%. compared to a state average of 81.1%. If you look at our former English learners who exited the EL program prior to high school, their graduation rate is above 95%, which is actually higher than the category of all students in McMinnville. Why is it that students who have exited from our EL program do better than students who have never had ELD services? We can't know for sure, but suspect that the metalinguistic awareness that is fostered through our EL approach gives EL students an edge. It is important to note that it takes time, consistency, dedication, forward thinking, and passionate leadership to build a good program. For over 13 years, we have been using a pull-out model to give ELs a designated time for explicit language instruction. The Systematic ELD framework has been an important tool that has guided our approach and has been well supported by our district and building administrators. We have had various levels of implementation over time, and with the addition a few years ago of the Systematic ELD elementary curriculum, there has been stronger instructional alignment across the district. Recently, with the support of our principals and the leadership of our EL program coordinator, we have been working to fully implement Systematic ELD in all our elementary schools with greater fidelity to the unit assessments. We have 9 elementary EL teachers between 6 different schools. We don't always teach the same grades or levels, and it has been a challenge in the past to figure out how to most effectively share data and strategies in order to improve practices. In addition to a common platform, Google Classroom and Google Drive, to organize and share resources, we have a team that collaborates well and supports each other. Even so, one major roadblock has been securing the time and a flexible, workable structure. This year, with the support of principals, we were able to get dedicated meeting time on the calendar twice a month. We have modified our district's data team process in an effort to begin analyzing student assessment data and teacher practices for at least one group or level per teacher. Since most of us teach multiple grades and levels, planning and data teaming for 6 to 9 different groups a day per teacher would be impossible. So each teacher was asked to focus on at least one group, grade, or level. Our goal is to take what we learn from each other during these focus sessions and apply the best practices more broadly within all our groups. The purpose of the data team is to align district-wide ELD teaching practices, continue to implement the Systematic ELD framework and/or curriculum, Since we don't yet have enough curriculum to provide teachers with all grades and levels they teach, we encourage teachers to plan and deliver all lessons using the Systematic ELD framework. We want to provide opportunities for collaboration and identify practices that really work to move students forward and practices that don't. And we also want to more accurately measure student progress in English proficiency during the year. The process we developed involves 3 stages: pre-planning, check-in, and post-assessment analysis. The pre-planning day involves meeting with teams and choosing a common grade and/or level for collaboration. Then we want to follow the Systematic ELD guidelines for backwards planning. For example, reviewing the unit overview and summary pages, reading through the prompt and rubric, reading through the mentor text to construct the sample text, or even create a more appropriate sample for our students' needs. Review and modify, if necessary, the end-of-unit assessments. And then, of course, discuss our pacing, our strategies, and resources. How will we get students where we want them to be? The process on check-in days involves a focus on successes and challenges so far in teaching the unit, maybe bringing daily and/or weekly assessment data to analyze, talking about pacing modifications, what might we add to or cut from lessons in order to fit within our time frame, talk about what's working or not working, brainstorm possible solutions, and then of course we have the final step of the process, which is the post-assessment analysis. When we meet for post-assessment analysis, teachers would have given the unit assessment and we'd have a chance to discuss results as a team using the ELD data team post-assessment analysis document. So this document is a modified version of what we use for our district. And so as you can see in the sample, we would just fill out the areas of the grade level, team members, our focus area, what standard perhaps we are working on, what unit we're working on, and then talk about, of course, strengths and inferences, errors and misconceptions, and then come up with a SMART goal and an action plan. This year, we were also able to hire a part-time district EL TOSA. This veteran EL specialist and certified systematic ELD trainer has been able to provide instructional coaching and support for all our elementary and middle school teachers with a focus on supporting new or first-time EL teachers. This person is able to observe lessons, provide actionable feedback, model specific ELD lessons and strategies, act as a resource to answer questions about administrative duties that are unique to the EL teacher in our district, as well as support the EL program administrator.